Tesla troll had been exposed, and immediately Elon Musk called his boss once he realized who he was. And there's more to this story, but it's a pretty good one already, and a few other things. So we're going to talk about it all coming up next.
Taking over the world, electrifying the world, evil in a check.
Thank you to those of you who are watching me on Patreon, and of course, if this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the world of electric cars, please click on that subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything moving forward. All right, let's get going with this really interesting story. So this guy, Montana Skeptic, right? So he's like kind of a famous Tesla troll. Basically was all around. I don't know why Seeking Alpha is actually kind of let him have his home there. He posts anonymously, and he, he's quite abrasive sometimes, right? So I guess he got exposed, and people figure out who he was. I guess his name is Lawrence. Let me see, I had it somewhere. Lawrence Fossey. So once Elon Musk found out that who he is, and he is a part of the, I don't think it's a mutual fund, but it's an investment firm that is specializing in investing in oil companies. So obviously he had a ulterior motive. And so once that happened, Elon called his boss, basically complaining about it. I don't know what he said to him. I would love to hear and know what went on. But I guess somebody who knows that guy basically posted it. And also, I'm not really sure. And I guess this was with the permission of Montana Skeptic. This guy. I don't know why you want to know everybody to know not only that he's been exposed, but now that you're in trouble with your boss. Hopefully he's in trouble. Who knows? Maybe the boss is going to give him a raise because of this, right? Actually, maybe even not that far from the truth here. So anyway, so he got exposed, so don't forget, below, under the surface all this drama, right? Another surface all this tweets from Elon Musk that I personally don't like, and a lot of people don't really like, attacking, mainstream media and everything. There is the truth, right? And this is why I really on Elon's case about it is because of all the drama he's creating with his Twitter account. The truth itself is kind of a secondary to this whole thing, right? I mean, there are people who are working against Tesla because they invested in oil company and old school fossil fuel industry. And listen, it is expected, right? I don't know why people don't expect it. I don't know why Elon Musk didn't think it was going to be happening, but it is happening, right? And it needs to be obviously pushed back on. Just not the way that Elon does, I believe. There's a better way to do it. So good. I'm glad this guy got exposed. Hopefully he gets fired for this. Hopefully, I wonder if this is also not very legal to do that. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, obviously. Let me know if some of you guys are in the comment section. I would love to hear your opinion about that. But, so this guy ended up deleting his Twitter account. Now, unfortunately, there was another guy who had to delete he didn't have to delete, but he did delete his Twitter account. And this was this guy, Dan Neil. He's a reporter for the Wall Street Journal. And he recently did a review of the Tesla Model 3, and it was a positive review. It was a pretty positive review. I didn't have a problem with that. I thought it was pretty fair and balanced. Not to go with a Fox tagline here, but and then I guess there were so many trolls getting on his, back about it. He just deleted his entire Twitter account. Now, I'm not really sure why. I mean, he is a Wall Street Journal a columnist. I would assume he would have a thicker skin, obviously. I mean, see, this is what you get when you try to look for him on Twitter. And I would, and listen, I'm assuming it's not the first time people went after him for maybe an opinion they disagree with. So that was pretty drastic of him to delete his Twitter account. As you can see, the link is still there in his. This is the screenshot of his profile on the Wall Street Journal's website. I'm assuming he also did it, he ran it by the paper, by his management. It was really weird. I have to say, it was really weird. I don't know if maybe he got some threats and stuff like that, but again, this is pretty sad that, somebody reviews a car and has to delete their entire Twitter account. And a Twitter account is a big deal for journalists. That's basically their, yes, they work for a newspaper or they're freelancers, but their worth, right? Their audience is really their Twitter account. So this is pretty sad that he lost it. I don't know how many followers he had, but Yeah, that's not a story I really liked this week. Let me know what you guys think, and maybe there's more to it. So I'll be happy to check out some of the comments in the comment section. All right, let's talk about a few other things. Tesla and Waymo, really, and there are a few other things that I have on my list here. Before that, of course, I want to remind you guys that this show and this channel is sponsored by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla. There is a discount code in the description of this video. All right, there's some good news from a Wall Street analyst. Yeah, you heard me right, and I'm going to repeat it because your brain just exploded. There's a good news from a Wall Street analyst. This guy, Ramit Shah, he basically had a very positive statement about Tesla, about him, and I guess he's so busy researching it, he didn't even have time to upload his picture to his LinkedIn profile. But anyway, so he's a managing director of Nomura Securities company, and he basically believes that Tesla is making enough of Model 3 cars right now, and it's being ramped up, that they will be turning profit, and all of the talks about how Tesla will go bankrupt any minute now is going to be gone. He upgraded his outlook to, I think, 450 at the target price, and I believe he upgraded his the Tesla's standing to buy. So yeah, this doesn't happen very often, I think, especially he's one of the few right now that are making this statement. I gotta tell you, I don't think he's that far off. I think he's doing a good job for his people who trust him with their investments, because Tesla looks like they've turned the corner, and I know there's still some challenges, but this shouldn't be an issue. I think I agree with him. So I am going to turn the air conditioning that's blasting in my face right now on my app. But definitely let me know. And so, by the way, here's a Bloomberg tracker while I'm doing this on my phone, rudely so. And it's really low right now. So 28.25. I took this screenshot about an hour ago, and it is not looking good. Though I have to say, in the past, when it dipped right after they've delivered, like after it peaked, and then it tanked, and that usually kind of becomes quiet before the storm type of the deal, because Tesla is ramping up yet to another sort of escalation of the production. Though this is pretty low. This is definitely pretty low. They are targeting 6,000. They are targeting 6,000 Model 3s in August, and I think they'll get there. But still, it is a bit low. Let's move on to another story about Waymo. Waymo, as you can see here, they will be replacing those cars, or at least adding Jaguar I-Pace all-electric cars, which is pretty cool. So Waymo just announced a few partnerships. The biggest one with the Walmart, where in the test areas where they're testing their driverless cars, you will be able to go to Walmart, especially if you place the order online. You get a discount for that, and then Waymo would show up and take you to the Walmart to pick up your stuff. They also made some deals with some hotel, some malls, rental car companies, dealerships, and so forth. Just they try to figure out what are the places where our customers take our driverless Waymos the most, and they kind of create a partnership with those places, because if you can get a discount, or if you can kind of streamline the process a little bit, obviously everybody wins. So I thought it was a really, really, really good move. I mean, Google, and Waymo is a Google's company, really, really is advancing in this, not just the technology. I think a lot of people agree that they probably have #1 self-driving car technology, but also what happens around it, right? What happens, how, you still have to establish sort of the way you do business and how you do business and everything. And I really like the way we're doing it. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. All right, so quick reminder that this Saturday, I have an interview, a follow-up on my solar roof video. I don't know if you remember, I interviewed the owner when one of the very first Tesla solar roofs was installed in this house in San Jose. There were a lot of comments and questions, so I'll be interviewing him. Well, we already done it. It's going to be pre-recorded, but you'll see my interview with him where he'll give you a lot of numbers that everyone was asking for, and some answers to the questions. So that's definitely check it out if you're interested. Very interesting story, and I gotta tell you, this is just so weird to look at that roof and know that this is making energy. This is made energy. And I gotta tell you, I was surprised by the cost. I think the cost is way more reasonable than I thought. If you obviously count in that this is also a roof that you had to replace and pay for anyway. And of course, I wanna say thank you to Hugo Dom, one of the new Patreons who just hopefully watching me live right now. Who knows? And that's one of the perks when you join. And of course, thank you so much for supporting the show. All right, let's move on to the comment of the day. And the comment of the day today, I feel like I'm almost like repeating myself. I think we had a very similar one yesterday, but I feel like I almost have to revisit this one here again. And so let me bring that up. This comes from Peter. Peter says, and by the way, this is about me deciding to go with a Chevy Volt instead of buying like a Model 3. Because I don't want to waste really 45 minutes, especially of supercharging, especially when I'm driving at night. He says, supercharging for 45 minutes on a 2-hour trip? You can't be serious. I am serious. The long-range Model 3 does not need to charge on a 2-hour trip. The long-range version has an EPA combined range of 310 miles. Through Tesla Radis though Tesla Radis calculates that combined range to be actually 334 miles. Even the short-range version has an EPA combined range of 220 miles, good for 3 hours of driving at legal freeway speeds. Okay, first of all, you have to understand, EPA rating has nothing to do with reality, okay? It's the reality is usually at least 20% less. That's number one. Two, I already explained that I'm not interested in buying Model 3, especially right now when it costs $70,000 or even $60,000 or $50,000 to buy. To me, it's not worth it. I don't want a performance package. I don't want an all-wheel drive. And I don't want to pay for the range that I will only need once a month. And then I'm just dragging these batteries around that I only use once a month. It doesn't make any sense for me. Once there is a $35,000 version available, I think it will be the best car for its money ever. But there are some things that I just don't like about the car for me, for just my purposes. And again, I will continue driving my Model S because I think it's the best car in the world. Hate the service, hate a lot of other things about it, but I love the car. So I'm going to continue driving it. And my commuter car, I picked a Volt because I don't like, coming home at 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe instead of 3 o'clock in the morning. That makes a big difference during the day. And you have to understand, there's where I'm going to be driving from Sacramento to Bay Area. There are a lot of winds there. It's usually either hot or cold, so you have to be running either air conditioning or a heater. That can reduce the range by another 20%. So we're not at 334 miles because we're way less than that. And don't forget, the goal is not just to make the trip there. Once I get there, I still need to drive around, so I still need to charge at some point, and I still need to charge to go back. So that together will be at least 45 minutes of charging at the supercharger. And again, when I'm jamming my, one-day trip, getting there, trying to make all the meetings and see all the people I want to see and then coming back, probably late at night, those 45 minutes can really hurt. And this is just a practicality for me, And again, if I could buy a $35,000 Model 3 right now, that would be maybe, still I would have to supercharge it. But at $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, I'm just not interested. Just not interested. I'll add an extra $10,000 to that and buy a base model of Model S, which to me, again, just to me, is just a much better car. So anyway, I just I just feel like some this kind of a Tesla fanboys that just do not want to hear the facts and understand that some people live in reality. Like, I'm also not the richest guy out there. I can't just drop a 70 grand for my commuter car. I'm going to tell you a secret. Most people can't. Most people can't even a Volt, a brand new Volt is a big deal for people because it does cost, $30,000+ even after all the deals. And so, yeah, man, you have to understand, people live in reality and people don't want to worry about charging and supercharging and all of this stuff. And I like the fact that now I'm going to have a full all electric car, the best one out there, and I'm going to have what most people right now at least prefer, which is a plug-in hybrid as far as moving towards the electrified powertrain. So I think I will be a better YouTuber and a better reporter for you if I experience both, and it's a benefit to you. All right. Once again, I went on this rant, which I really don't like to do, but nevertheless, I feel like just must be done. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for me. Don't forget that this Saturday, an interview once again with the owner of the Solar Roof Tesla, one of the first Tesla Solar Roof owners. Definitely hope you guys check it out. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. And if you're watching me on Patreon, stay for the overtime. I guess I'm gonna call it overtime, and we're gonna chat once I finish the video for YouTube. So stay tuned on Patreon. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.